So I think, our client base is really very broad and likely reflective of what you suggest in terms of performance and emission reduction. And our focus really continues to be on that kind of partnership with clients and understanding whether they're just starting out or perhaps more involved in that journey, the needs that they have to really tackle that. And one example of that would be the climate transition pathways work that was started by Willis Towers Watson, where really taking the credible, rigorous methodologies that exist and putting together a model whereby clients can be assessed in terms of their transition plans, make sure that they're Paris aligned, make sure that they're kind of investing in the ways that would support that. And we're delighted that the first company, for instance, has been accredited, which is the Danish energy company Ørsted, which is probably quite well known for its efforts in this area, so perhaps no surprises, but really being able to support that with the offer of capacity up to certain limits today, and looking to also enhance that kind of offer over time so that we can entice and kind of bring more companies on that journey. So though it's starting small and perhaps with some of the leading companies here, I think that kind of wave of bringing more and more organizations along that journey and the supporting role that we can play will hopefully improve that picture over time and pretty quickly if we need it to. In general, organizations are certainly more able to measure and more comfortable measuring and sometimes sharing their scope 1 and 2 because of the spheres of control and influence that they have. And that's being said, some are still early in those journeys, depending on the expectations and requirements of them. But it's safe to say overall, scope 3 is certainly the more challenging area. There's less control, and I'd say even as an insurance industry, we ourselves are challenged here because we lack an agreed standard of measuring emissions that we associate with underwriting, for instance. And there are some methodologies, of course, out there for the investment portfolios. So scope 1 and 2, I think, does need to be the kind of area of focus for a number of efforts, and that's evident in, I think, some of the work that the likes of the Partnership for Carbon Accounting Financials, some of the Lloyd's Net Zero Measurement Framework, trying to, I think, really get really good at what we're doing with scope 1 and 2 and trying to make inroads into the more complex reality of scope 3. This really happens, I'd say, in a very much kind of case-by-case basis, I suppose, at the moment, through really through discussions and engagements with brokers and clients, some of which our business development and underwriting teams will have, and some of which I have directly, where it's increasingly part of the conversation. Sometimes something we don't even need to ask them about because they're proactively presenting what they're doing, but it's certainly part of the kind of the areas of inquiry that we have with our clients. So there's that kind of like case by case, a little bit more perhaps informal, and in many ways it helps us build a picture as to where they are. We might be using, in the background, some third-party data or our own research to kind of inform that picture, all the way through to the climate transition pathway kind of accreditation model, that kind of hopefully kind of gold standard for what companies can aspire to. That is very rigorous and will take time and effort, and hopefully be worth it in terms of the kind of the reward or the benefits that they get through their insurers. So quite a spectrum of kind of engagement on that topic today. It's building the capabilities, and we often say empowering our underwriters with the right tools and data to really get there, and the appropriate guidance to support clients and make decisions. So we're really focused on both, I'd say, ESG wide and climate specific training this year, and I'm sure beyond. And so we're looking at, for instance, our current kind of ESG framework and the support that we provide at the moment to underwriters, and we're really engaging them every step of the way of what we're designing, so that it is something that isn't just going to work in theory, but it's going to work in practice. And the more and richer insight that we have can only be helpful. It can be a little bit daunting, I suppose, when you can see the sheer number of topics that are concerned within the ESG agenda, but it's helping them see what's material to their clients and the industries that they're working with, and pinpoint that data where it exists, or guide that engagement where perhaps it doesn't.